This is fitness warm-up A for phase 1, and we'll start with some hurdle mobility drills when the athlete arrives at the track. The athlete's going to stand tall. It's important that we don't artificially lift the legs by leaning back with the torso. Instead, we want to stay up tall with the chest forward. And what we're doing is moving laterally along the side of the hurdles, picking up the foot, trying to clear the hurdle by keeping our heel in close and driving our knee up into our chest. Again, it's really important that the athlete stay tall, keep that torso tall and chest forward. Here's a variation of the same drill, this time with a straight leg. The athlete's moving laterally, bringing the entire leg straight up and over the hurdle, working on the hip flexors, warming up the hips, getting ready for more aggressive activity later in the workout. After the hurdle mobility, athletes will run for 600 meters on the turf and then start the 9 exercises in the fitness routine. First, hip trunk rotations. The athlete lies on their back with their shoulders flat, arms out in a cross position, keeping the head down and the shoulders in contact with the turf. The athlete's going to rotate the lower body with the legs 90 degrees at the knees, tapping the knee on each side, working on hip mobility and core strength. Then we'll forward jog over to the next exercise. These are low reach crunches, traditional sit-up position. We're really focusing on curling underneath the rib cage, working those lower abdominals, just sliding the fingertips along the turf toward the heels, and then we'll do another forward jog across the field. These are scorpions from a hands and knee position. Hands should be directly below the shoulders. Back should be flat, so a straight spine from the head through the hips should be flat. We'll control the movement, trying to focus on the glute and a little bit of hamstring in order to bring that foot flat to the sky. Then it's a backward jog into the next exercise. These are hurdle position leg lifts, isolating the hip flexor, trying to get seated so that the posture's tall and really working on lifting the leg by using the hip flexor and the upper quad. What we don't want to do is lean back and artificially lift the leg. So the athlete needs to get their posture up tall before starting the movement. Then it's another backward run across the turf and on to their chest. These are prone arm leg raises, working the glutes and lower back. The athlete's going to lift one arm and the opposite leg, and then they'll alternate after a 3 count. Notice that the athlete never puts both hands on the ground at the same time. They're always lifting one side as the other side comes down. These are 360 spins across the turf, working on a little multi-directional stability. And then we're down onto the hands and knees for hydrants. It's important here that the athlete lift the leg only as much as they're capable of by utilizing their hip and glute. We don't want to artificially lift the knee by turning the torso. The torso stays flat, the nose is down, shoulders never move. It's all hip and glute that lifts the leg. And then we'll do 360 circles to the left, back across the field, and into scoops. This is another lower abdominal exercise. The athlete's going to extend their legs out straight and then lift the legs up to about 90 degrees at the hip before collapsing at the knees, bringing the heels down to the glute, and extending out again. Now we're up for a crossover run. The goal here is to swing the legs as far as we can laterally across our direction of movement. And then we're down on the turf for prone chest lifts. Here the athlete's going to lay with their palms down and their thumbs facing away from their hips. They're going to activate the gluteals, then the lower back, and then squeeze the shoulder blades together to lift the chest and bring the backs of the hands together with the thumbs lifting up toward the sky. And the final run will be a wide step run. The athlete, instead of throwing their body weight from side to side, they just want to get those feet wide and move across the turf. These are lateral leg raises. So we'll start on our left side, arm is out straight, ear is on the arm, and we're going to use our glutes and our hips to lift the leg. And then we'll do some twists. So we're going to turn the toe up by moving the leg in the hip joint, so the whole leg is rotating, trying to get that toe close to 90 degrees. And then we rotate over and do the other side. Notice the leg doesn't come all the way back down. Just before it makes contact with the ankle, we lift it back up about 2 feet. And then again, we'll hold the leg in that elevated position and rotate the leg in the hip joint. And that concludes the fitness warm-up for phase 1.